Hey, welcome back to the channel, man. It's breaking news. It's been confirmed that they slid and retaliated for young Dolph, and that's why LottaCash Desto got hit up. Her dad was Govan Hernandez, and he's the one that was the ringleader that orchestrated and set up and organized the entire young Dolph hit because of the fact that he was the one that was actually making the plays and the moves that was going on in Memphis and everything like that. So he's also connected and tied to CMG. His boss is Yo Gotti and Big Jook. And basically, it's not looking good for them right now. This is not looking good because this is not just confirmed, but they actually put everything on paperwork and is showing this now because now there's like probably a 90% chance that the RICO will come on. And everybody knows at this point that the Fed's rate is 99.9% like a hand sanitizer or something like that. And what y'all gotta understand is the fact that there's no way of going around this because now that's multiple two people, both of them rappers, Young Dolph and LottaCash Desto, both gone, and this all could have been avoided if basically Yo Gotti would have never took the beef about him and his baby mama too far because he's not even with her anymore. He's with the Angela Simmons girl from New York that's connected to Jay-Z because Jay-Z's from New York. And what y'all got to understand is that all of this was for no reason, and people keep, they getting lost and everything like that. R.I.P. to Dolph, condolences to LottaCash Desto and all of the people who've been falling, because you see all these rappers and you looking at all of the situation of these dudes who's in the streets, and why is it that they always be, you either gonna look up to the rappers or it's gonna be people who's hating on the rappers because the millions and millions of dollars is breeding the jealousy, the greed, and the envy and everything like that. And so the fact that when they slid on LottaCash Desto, they knew that exactly what it was get back for because at that point it's already been it's already been a certain amount of time had passed since Dolph was, and usually in the first 6 months they don't be sliding like that. Anybody that knows anything about usually what goes on and stuff like that, most of the time people lay low and plot and wait for 6 months down the road, almost a year down the road before they retaliate because they already know that if they're going to be being if it happens too soon, that is going to be heavily connected. And so the thing is it was on like a borderline where it happened like almost about a year after the whole Dolph situation. And so what that ends up being is that it basically made it to where, okay, they had to really do their homework and really look at the notes and everything and dig in and research about who was there and whatnot. And when they found out that LottaCash Desto's dad was Govan, and they searched his name into their entire record books, they found out that he was part of the whole Memphis group and CMG and everything, and that he was the one that was caught up when he was running down the street in LA when Dolph got hit in the arm and everything like that. So what y'all gotta understand is that when they looked up his occupation, it came back as an executive for CMG, and that's why they had somebody tied up for that back then. And then they was like, okay, not only was he actually riding around with Black Youngster and Big Jook at that time and working for Yo Gotti and all of the stuff that was connected, nobody knew that LottaCash Desto was actually related to him. And so once they found that out, of course, a lot of people slid to Houston and slid to wherever she was in the area of. And you got to understand that it's a connection between the two cities, between Memphis, Houston, and Dallas area and everything like that, because even a lot of people from CMG go to Dallas. And that's why Black Youngster did a diss in that club in Dallas right after the Dolph hit. And the fact that Straight Drop and all of them, they slid and went down to Dallas too. They was hiding out there. Even Raven and 901 Trigger Trey hang out and do events and parlay and do all of that kickback. And they got all sorts of people who know Memphis and they in Dallas, and they goes back and forth like that. So it's like an escape route or something like that. That's what's going on. And so basically what's really happening is that they just connected the dots because they put the pieces together and they really opened their eyes and looked at all the facts and realized what's actually going on. And what happened is that they found out exactly what they were looking for. And a lot of people were saying it the whole entire time, but it took them a very long time for them to catch on because you know how slow they are and how they comb through every little piece of things that had came out and up and about the entire situation just to filter and actually pick through everything just to make sure that they know what's really happened and what didn't happen, because that's the real key to this situation, is that once they found out it was Govan and that he was with Yo Gotti and everything at a certain point, that's exactly when they went and rode and slid on Big Jook and swooped him up, because they got Big Jook on shackles and everything like that. And it's a serious situation for him, because when he looked at how much time he was getting, and he realized that the person that led them to him was Govan after Govan got picked up, and they understood that all of them was working together, because at that point it was all just, okay, they was around each other, but is that really what's going on? And then they found out, and that's when everything took a turn for this whole entire thing. And so people were screaming and yelling and advocating the whole time, actually going out and trying to get the justice for Dolph. And they found out that a lot of the people was actually connected, and that they didn't have to look too far, because the patterns and the pieces of the puzzle led back to it all being interlooped into the fact that they just had to really look at the situation where it was a revolving door, where the same thing just kept happening over and over again. This is not the first time that they tried to get young Dolph. Like, they tried this many, many times and everything like that. This was the third big time, but you don't know all the little times that he got out of jams and it was never mentioned and it was never in the news or anything like that. And so what you got to understand is that a lot of people know and don't know that they was either there doing whatever, or it's either they were there looking for Dolph the whole entire time. Because it's like, how did they have all this time to being able to follow him around in all these different places that he went? And a lot of people got to see that, okay, they knew that it was people following Dolph, but who were the people? And now when they realized that this whole thing with LottaCash Desto was all because of her dad, it's like, dang, he should have never signed up for this, because now it took somebody he knew out of it that he was close to. And then now he's got to face 100 years because of him being wrapped up as the ringleader of Young Dolph. And so he's got to make a decision right now. Is he going to tell on Yo Gotti and the rest of the guys or not? And that's the exact same reason why Black Youngster's been hiding out this whole entire time, because they know that they've been walking on thin ice, and that at any given moment right now, whatever Govan said, whatever Big Jook said, whatever Straight Drop said, because they all got basically swooped up by the feds and locked up for this right now. 8 people, the Devin Burns dude, all of them. That's what they showing us on the news. Everybody knows this now. And so as the refreshment, just to fill y'all in, out of all 8 of them people, don't you think that they're going to tell? Because they don't want to all do 100 years and all the other things that they're going to throw the book at them for. And so what you got to understand is that that's why Black Youngster is hiding, and we don't know what Yo Gotti's doing. Because at this point, they must all be shaking in their boots on the edge of their seat, biting the fingernails and waiting to figure out it's just one step move, and who's going to make that move. Subscribe to the channel, like this video, comment, let me know what y'all think. I'm going to catch you later.